Tonight on KGW News, stories of survival from the young Minnesota students traumatized in yet another school shooting.
My friend Victor saved me though, because he laid on top of me.
Plus, how the president's big beautiful bill is apparently leaving Oregon nearly $900 million in the hole. And later, meet the heroes who rescued a pilot when his plane tumbled into the ocean.
There's zero hesitation. We all took an oath to save life and property, and that's what we're going to do.
I certainly wish that there was something that we could do that would unwind the time of this day.
Good evening. We begin with a community leaning on one another, trying to make sense of a shooting that took the lives of 2 children and left 17 others, mostly young people, recovering. Tonight in Minneapolis, neighbors, friends, and strangers gathered for a vigil near the site of the deadly shooting at a Catholic school where a shooter opened fire in the middle of Mass. And now the FBI is looking into the violence as an act of domestic terrorism. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest from Minnesota.
A place of prayer and sanctuary were turned into a crime scene. 2 children were killed. A total of 17 were injured, 14 of them children. Police are calling this a deliberate act of violence. In the first week of classes at Annunciation Catholic School, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old are dead.
We lost 2 angels today.
The FBI says 23-year-old Robin Westman opened fire through church windows where children and their teachers were praying during Wednesday morning Mass.
Children were ducked down, adults were protecting children, older children were protecting younger children.
17 others, including 14 children, are wounded but are expected to survive.
My friend Victor saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
The FBI says the shooter, who graduated from Annunciation's grade school in 2017, acted alone and died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officials are now working to find the shooter's motive.
We're also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings.
Gun magazines shown in the videos list the names of 6 mass shooters, including Adam Lanza, the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooter, whom the suspect wrote they had a deep fascination with. Democratic Mayor Jacob Frey said it's on leaders to stop future tragedies.
We've got more guns in this country than we have people. And it's on all of us to recognize the truth and the reality that we can't just say that this shouldn't happen again and then allow it to happen again.
And there is that call not only from leaders here across the state of Minnesota, but also other Democrats across the country asking for some sort of action to be done so that this doesn't happen again, as we heard just there. We also know that the shooter's mom worked here at this school as well from the years 2016 to 2021, according to social media posts. In Minneapolis, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
And yet it keeps happening. Meanwhile, Oregon's governor has ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff through Sunday in honor of the victims and the survivors of the shooting. To get you caught up on tonight's local headlines now, Salem police are investigating 2 deadly shootings that happened within an hour of each other. The first was in the southeast around 12:30 in the morning. That's when a caller reported a crash, and authorities found a 30-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. He died at the hospital. Then around 1:30, several people called police after hearing gunfire at a homeless campsite at Wallace Marine Park. A 60-year-old man died at the hospital. We spoke with the man at the park who says he knew the victim.
I saw him go by. I heard the shots. Somebody came running up the trail and said to call the police, and the police came.
Investigators do not think the shootings are connected. No word, by the way, on any suspects. In Northwest Portland, surveillance video shows a stabbing suspect pacing outside as officers surrounded his home. Police say the man stabbed 2 people this morning, then hid inside for several hours before he eventually surrendered. The suspect's partner telling us he was having a mental health crisis.
Regardless of what, he's accused of or not, I'm here telling everybody and the police, that this is a crisis, and it's not his normal personality.
A neighbor says the suspect got into a confrontation with people living in tents on the streets. We're working to confirm that with police. And new photos from Central Oregon show some of the damage from the flat fire. It's charred more than 23,000 acres. And in an update tonight, fire commanders say thunderstorms brought gusty winds and lightning, but they were able to keep working to mop up sections of the fire. They've also been focused on extinguishing hot spots near homes. Evacuation levels have been downgraded in several areas. Crews, though, say the next few days could be challenging. You know, parts of our area saw thunderstorms earlier as well, though right now it appears all is calm in the Rose City. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino. So, Matt, any rain left out there tonight?
Nope, we're all done right now. We had thunderstorms, though, out in Washington County at about 6 o'clock. There they go. Fell apart as they crossed the West Hills in Forest Park out towards Saviani. There really wasn't much to it after it began to die down, but it was right over the Sunset Highway for a little while, about 6 o'clock. All the thunderstorm activity has pretty much ended around the state, even the showers, a few left over down around Burns, Oregon, but we have cleared out. But earlier in the day, captured these showers moving to the south of the state capital in Salem. You can see the rain rolling on through there. Interestingly enough, there was no measurable rain at the Salem airport, but Hillsborough ended up picking up 0.05 of an inch from that little cluster of thunderstorms earlier in the day. And that was the most in the metro area here. If you look a little bit farther south, though, Dallas, Oregon had nearly 1/4 of an inch. Over on the east side, Warm Springs, almost 1/2 an inch. Redmond, 1/3 of an inch, but very little rain at Sister. So a sampling of some of the rain that came from those thunderstorms. It will be mainly clear overnight tonight. Warm on Thursday and Friday, up around 90, but not too bad. And then cooler over the weekend. We're watching the potential for some thunderstorms or showers on Saturday. I don't think it's a very big potential, but we'll talk more about that later, David.
Appreciate it, Matt. New tonight, talk about a budget blow, with state economists projecting Oregon will lose nearly $900 million for the next 2 years. The trickle-down impact, they say, of tax cuts in President Trump's big, beautiful bill. Alma McCarty's in the newsroom with details on what this might mean for all of us. Alma?
David, that projection's a pretty big number and would take the general fund ending balance from $473 million down to negative $373 million. But this prediction, the state economist tells me, shouldn't be cause for immediate panic.
I would not view this as kind of a clarion call that we need action right now, per se, to address this. But this is telling you we potentially have a problem, and this will have to be dealt with over the course of the biennium.
That's the message Carl Riccadonna, chief economist for the state of Oregon, brought to the Legislative Committee on Finance and Revenue Wednesday morning. His team predicting that the tax cuts included in H.R. 1, or the Big Beautiful Bill, will significantly lower the income and corporate tax revenue the state takes in.
The impact is about $888 million. For this biennium. So there is a hole in the state budget and the general fund balance that has to be adjusted based on these new developments.
This reduction in state funding, Democratic lawmakers fear, will hurt Oregonians. And they're pointing the finger at the president. Governor Tina Kotek stating more Oregon families are experiencing tougher financial situations, not by chance, but because of the economic uncertainty coming straight from the Trump administration. House Speaker Julie Fahey writing in part, today's revenue forecast confirms that Trump's economic policies are squeezing families and destabilizing our state budget. Republican lawmakers feeling differently about the tax cuts.
People will actually keep their own money. And what's crazy is the Democrats in Salem right now are saying that this is terrible.
Senate Republican leader Daniel Bonham saying Oregon's economic problems are homegrown.
The question really for Oregonians should be, was this something that literally just happened to the Oregon economy, or has this been building up from policies set forward here in Oregon?
And when it comes to the kicker, here's what state economists say Oregonians should expect.
Got a little bit smaller. Based on some disappointing tax revenues in the final months of the biennium. So there is a kicker. It's a little bit less than what it initially looked like, but the kicker will still be coming.
Riccadonna says that it's important to note while the state will be getting nearly $900 million less, that money is essentially staying in the taxpayers' pockets. So this does not mean that the state economy is shrinking by that amount. David.
Yeah, important context there. Thanks, Alma. Appreciate it. Well, this evening we are continuing to follow concerns over safety outside Portland's Central Library. That's where a man was stabbed and beaten with skateboards on Monday night, and it follows a deadly shooting just across the street in July. Some small business owners nearby are now reaching out to city leaders asking for more security in the area.
I think it's really hard just because of like a lot of small businesses, including myself. We are the ones who kind of have to witness it a lot. But I think it's also hard on the community because it gives this negative connotation to downtown.
The library says it's already doubled the number of security officers, added 24/7 surveillance, and increased the frequency of cleaning outside. It's now also considering adding weapons detection systems. The issues of the library, by the way, have led to a lot of back and forth between the county, the city, and business advocates. So be sure to check out tonight's episode of The Story on our free TV app. It's KGW Plus to hear why the Portland Metro Chamber president is slamming leadership and how the Multnomah County chair is pushing back.